Hi everyone, it's Shay. Today I will be teaching you about making custom ceilings. Um, these have been getting really popular on the JP server, and I know a couple of North American designers are also using them. So without further ado, we're just going to get right into it. I'll be kind of showing you the logistics of each kind of style of ceiling, what's best to use, etc., etc. So, first thing we're going to address is this item, the red carpet. Now, it's one of the new-ish furnishings. It's been out for a while. It's very easy to make, requiring low-level materials that's easily farmable on a Disciple of War, and you don't even need to be that high of a crafter to make it. This furnishing also takes up a lot of space, just one of them, as you can see. And the other neat part about this is that they are dyeable. So, and not to mention they have a low height requirement, which is like even better. So we're just gonna start floating these, and if you don't know how, you must be new to the channel. Welcome, guys. I'll put a link in the description for the floating guides. These also have a relatively low height requirement. So if you want to make Lalafell size ceilings, this is probably your best optimal bet. However, with this furnishing you can see these kind of funky lines from both sides, the carpet trim basically. That's gonna be less desirable if you want like just smooth modern ceilings, but if you want, you know, your ceiling to have a little bit of extra flair without like looking bland, it's a good way to kind of deal with it. Okay. So we are going to rotate these. So they kind of give you some nice pine stripes, and the texture is not too horrendously awful either. They're not as nice if you're trying to look at multi-tiered flooring. So like let's say you want to make a lowered basement down here and have a setting all ready to go, and you also want to make a second floor up here. It just kind of looks funny. I mean, you could always use the wooden loft for the multi-tiered stuff. It looks more realistic. It doesn't break your immersion as badly. It's thick. So that's one thing to consider. If you're looking something that has slightly more friendly resource and crafter capability, these bathroom tiles are another option. However, there's a huge downside that I will show you here in a minute. One of the downsides is that this furnishing has a high height requirement, so no Lalafell size ceilings for you. Sorry, guys. Like we've got it up there. And remember, to make it stay, we do need to rotate it. So I'm going to be moving through the ground floating glitch pretty quickly, not really bothering to explain it because I've done that so many times already. So I'm going to remove this. This is good if you also don't want like a multi-tiered flooring kind of look. However, you can see it's black on the top. Yeah, you can't dye the bottom. It does have that really nice quirky texture you would expect ceilings to have, though. It is kind of dark, but we're gonna try and change it. As you can see, the top is changing. The bottom is not. So that's kind of a downside for using this furnishing. This is still your most resource and cost-effective ceiling if you don't mind the lines. The second option, or this is technically the fourth option because we've done carpet, tiles, and the wooden loft all kind of as options. Fourth option would be this bathtub. Now this particular furnishing has been surging with popularity just because it's got that, the bottom of it's got that really cute like cottage, witch grove kind of feel. This does have a high height requirement, so it needs to be really far off the ground for it to stay, which is the only downside. Also, it makes water noises, so I'm not sure how comfortable you guys are with constantly needing to pee in your house because of the water noises, but you know, sacrifice for the sake of aesthetic or something. I'm sure it'll be fine. There's no way that could possibly go wrong, right? Ha ha ha. So we're gonna rotate that. We're gonna take this away. Move this. Hello. We're gonna move this closer. Ahem. Nothing to see here. Now you can see the base of it is super nice. You can easily create like fantasy castle-esque foresty settings. It's got a very nice aesthetic, and you can even crisscross wooden beams throughout it for hyper intensive immersion purposes. So those are the kind of options you have. Last option is if you're more looking for like a very stark, like clean look, modern home kind of thing, is that we're actually just gonna use the coned wool rug. There's not really a good replacement ceiling for the wool rug, unfortunately. It's just the best. So I'm gonna float this guy real quick. Got this taken care of. Oh, let's actually move it up a little bit more. Yeah, that would be good. Okay. So from here, we're gonna make sure these furnishings stay as well. And you're probably wondering why I floated this a little bit off, this white partition we have next here to us. And that's because if you have your ceiling like completely closed off where you can't tell there's extra stuff floating beyond the artificial ceiling, you can literally just make the inside ceiling have a little bit more texture. See, as you can, we've got an actual nice artificial trim happening here. And you can actually start making cool like line designs all over your ceiling using this method, because you know, no one's gonna be, the purpose is not to see the ceiling from anywhere except here if your ceiling is closed off. The coned wool rug is extremely taxing on resource pool and often gill. However, you can dye it whatever color you want. It has a very smooth texture, so you can layer a bunch of them like right next to each other. And it works really well for a modern multi-tiered setting, so if you wanted to create an additional scene up here. However, it does require like wool, like 2 wool top and jute yarn. Jute yarn you have to grow manually. It's not a resource that's found anywhere else in the game aside from gardening. Specifically from crossbreeding, which is a pain in the butt. And also the wool tops are like, in addition to being a map item, it also costs like 500 script per wool top. That's a lot of resources you're throwing at an artificial ceiling. So, for ease of creativity, your carpets are still going to be the best. It's a low height requirement. It takes up a lot of space. It's easy on your resources, both for gathering and crafting. This is, I would say, your wooden loft here is probably the second hardest. This is actually probably the easiest to come by in terms of crafting and resources as well. Then we have your bathroom tiles. You cannot dye them. We have the bathtub, which gives you a very unique, nice aesthetic for artificial ceilings. And then we have the best artificial ceiling, the coned wool rug, but extremely expensive on resources. So thanks so much for watching. I hope this helps give you guys some design ideas, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!